Tonight on TBN, TBN's executive producers sit down with the newly elected co-chairs Alexis Estime and Zahali Valklena to talk about what's in store for executive committee and morning meetings for the next school year. The Masters Rec Basketball League hosted its final game after the club faced many tribulations throughout the school year. Pope Star defeated Bishop Sycamore in an extremely close game on May 26th. Ellie Yang catches up with the class of 2022 to find out what their favorite moments at Masters were before they go off to college. And lastly, Hannah Schijano recaps the 2021-2022 school year. All this and more next. Good evening and welcome into the Tower Broadcast Newsroom. I'm Hannah Schijano.
And I'm Carol Piroz, and we're recapping the latest news on our final broadcast of this school year.
We're 10 days away from when the seniors will walk down the steps of Graduation Terrace and say goodbye to Masters. But the end of a school year also means the election of new co-chairs. Carol and I spoke with Alexis Estime and Zahali Valklena to learn more about their plans for the 2022-2023 school year.
We're here with Alexis and Zahali, who just won the 2022 to 2023 co-chair elections. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So me and Hannah just wanted to ask you a couple questions. So first of all, what drew you both to wanting to apply to co-chair initially?
For me personally, I felt like it was really positive vibes when I was a freshman, and I feel like I really wanted to portray that positive energy to the underclassmen and make mornings more interesting and more fun and more engaging for underclassmen.
Yeah, I felt that being around previous co-chairs like Kaio and Caleb, I feel like I was kind of drawn to the leadership and basically the example that they were leaving and they left on the school. I felt like I wanted to be part of that change, part of that movement to basically make the school better, which I've seen that they have done.
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, you both want to make morning meetings more engaging. As you've seen, sometimes people can fall asleep at morning meetings. So what are your plans to make morning meetings more engaging for students and faculty?
Previously, like I said in my speech, I want morning meetings to be more student-oriented, and I want students to basically have a say in how we basically do morning meetings. I feel like morning meetings are kind of just, administrative, and basically students don't get to have a say in whether they have something more engaging or something more enjoyable they want to have in morning meetings to keep them awake and more concentrated, more focused. So I feel like having more students say in what happens in morning meeting is a great thing we should introduce.
For me personally, I feel like in my speech, in my co-chair speech, I was like, hey, so most definitely we're going to do that and change it up. I also want to do a lot more student activities in the sense that it's not only teachers doing or giving announcements or teachers giving announcements. I want a lot more students, especially from the younger grades who aren't in the CBT, to come in and do more activities that are more student-led. Yeah.
I personally can't wait to see the changes that are going to come to morning meeting next year.
Yeah,
both of you guys have really great energy and also some really great policies that you guys were both talking about in your candidacy statements and in your speeches. So Alexis, I want to ask you a little bit about a policy that seems really important to you, which is academic transparency.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Academic transparency is a really big thing for me, especially at Masters, because I feel like a lot of students often get caught up with all the responsibilities that they have. They have Gold Key, they have diversity in Masters. There's so many things, they have sports, there's so many things that they're doing that they often can get messed up, not messed up, but are preoccupied with a lot of things, and with grades and tests. I feel like it is really important for students to be able to see their grades and be on top of their grades, on top of all the responsibilities they have. So being able to have teachers have an open grade book for them to be able to check monthly, semester-wise, so they're not doing all their final assignments that 1 week before is really important to me and to academic transparency.
Do you think that transparency is going to benefit the Masters community as a whole and help students with their stress levels and help them get more on top of their work?
Yeah, I most definitely think so, because I feel like knowing that you have 10 million assignments 1 week before the deadlines is a lot more stressful than knowing that you have homework assignments and there are ways to improve it.
Yeah, completely.
And Zahali, we all know that there are so many students at Masters who participate in many different types of sports. We have so many different opportunities here for students to get involved in the athletics. And I know something that you really wanted to do was to make sports equipment more accessible for students. So how are you going to go about that for next year?
Yeah, good question. I'm still drafting up the idea because honestly, I first thought of basically having financial aid be something that basically provides the equipment for certain people, for certain students on financial aid to be able to get the sports equipment that they need, no matter what sport they decide to play. Well, also I'm trying to make it more accessible to people who are not on as much financial aid, so like the gap of like how much percentage you get from the school. I feel like there should also be some donations as well as other stuff we can do inside of school to be able to allow people to have the sports equipment that they need, and like to be able to basically include everyone in the sports and like, you know, other like team community building opportunities, no matter what financial situation you may have.
And then I have another policy question for you, Alexa.
Okay, thank you.
So I know that you do a lot of sports. You
Yeah.
do tennis and swimming and lacrosse,
Yeah.
and you were talking a little bit about wanting to reevaluate the ACR requirement. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So as a 3-sport athlete, I completely understand my personal drive to continue to pursue my sports all 4 years throughout my master's career. But I feel like a lot of the underclassmen are kind of like, quote unquote, like forced to be on the team because of the ACR requirement. And I feel like that doesn't really help build a master's environment, especially on the field, in the pool, on the courts. I feel like if we have the ACR requirement more lenient, it's gonna make it feel more fun to be a part of those be a part of those sports co-curriculars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for you, Zahali, I know during executive committee, there's not a large number of students who go to those meetings. It's mostly just the co-chairs or class presidents who attend those meetings. So what is your plan to try? I know you want to include more of the student population on their perspectives on bills and what their ideas are. So what is your plan to try to get more students included in the creation of new bills?
Yeah, my initial plan is basically to make the idea apparent of whatever proposal we're having during an EC meeting to like the school, or like either morning meeting or like email or like anything to basically make the idea known. And I feel like we should have more accessible times for students, because a lot of students take lunchtime in order to like, you know, spend time with their friends that they haven't seen in like the first 2 periods. You know, it's not very accessible for most of the school population that I've seen. And I feel like we should have other times, maybe after school, like maybe certain blocks of time that we have where all students can basically have free time where they're not doing other stuff, to be able to have a discussion about the proposals that are important, like the whole school and the whole school community.
Well, those are all the questions that we had for you guys. We're really excited to see what you guys accomplish next year. And again, congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
And congratulations again from all of us here at the Tower and TBN staff. We look forward to seeing your leadership of the community and the policies you will implement next year. If you are smelling steaks, chicken, and burgers around campus on May 18th, then you are smelling the return of the BBQ Club. The club hosted its final barbecue this month to bring the community back together one last time before the club's co-chairs graduate. Take a look.
Oh shit, is that your bachelor?
Kayla!
TBN!
BBQ Club is still going strong, even after 2 years. On Wednesday, May 18th, by the Hill Dorms, the club hosted its first event of the year. Co-chairs Caleb Jakes, Declan Myers-Brown, and Taven Staber talk about the spirit of the club and how it connects to the school mission statement.
I mean, it's just about cooking, getting together, having fun, like sharing just good food and good times.
Well, we are Power for Good. Shoot, people's stomachs are getting full. They are loving the
Gather
meat.
and consume.
Yes, they're gathering everything. So if it's a Power for Good, that's what we're doing, if anything.
Grace Rodonis, first-time BBQ Club attendee, shares her thoughts on the club.
I think they're doing a really cool thing, and I think it helps people connect. I think especially at this time of the year, the weather's nice, and yeah, just super fun.
Aurora Rose Horn, TBN, the Masters School.
After facing delays due to injury concerns, the Masters Rec Basketball League was finally able to organize the championship game on May 26th in the FC. Pope Star defeated Bishop Sycamore in a nail-biter, 33-30. Senior Daniel Medina received the MVP award of the game. Lucas Seguinat has the story.
On Thursday, May 26th, the Masters Rec Basketball League closed their first season with a thrilling championship game. 4th seed Pope Star upset 2nd seed Bishop Sycamore 33-30. A stellar performance by Pope Star's Daniel Medina landed him the finals Most Valuable Player award as he knocked down 18 points and made 6 3-pointers. On the other end, Christopher Gaddy and Christopher Wannabe led Bishop Sycamore with 12 and 11 points, respectively. The energy of the game was high, as fans cheered for their favorite players, while on the court, Friendly arguments ensued. Founders of the NBA, Charlie Cooper and Josh Barshea, both participated in the game. Cooper was the referee, and Barshea was a member of the team, Bishop Sycamore. The two founders expressed their pride in the club's success.
You see the atmosphere, and you see like what we've done just as a club, and it's just, I feel like the atmosphere in there is just one of the best out of any of the clubs. Like we really put in a lot of work to make sure everyone has fun and has a good time, and I feel like it really just pays off in the end.
Lucas Segonot, TBN, the Masters School.
Congratulations to the Pope Star team. It's great to see that the league was able to host their final game after the challenges the league has faced this year. We are in the home stretch of finishing school, and you know what that means. It's AP test and final season. With the stress levels high amongst students, the Mental Health at Masters initiative hosted their first ever De-Stress Fest aimed to educate students on mental health and give them an opportunity to relax. TBN's Rowan McWhinney and Lexi Walken talked to the initiative's co-chairs and recapped the day.
On Wednesday, May 4th, the Mental Health Club held a school-wide assembly highlighting the importance of reducing stigma centered around mental health while also increasing awareness and understanding how to be an ally. After working with National Alliance Mental Illness last year, club co-chairs and juniors Ana Castillo and Clarice Bahamundi thought it was best for the Masters community to hear about this overlooked topic, while also providing a time and space for the students to relax during the stressful weeks of AP exams.
This day is really important because May is Mental Health Month, and we wanted to just have a day to de-stress and also bring awareness to mental health. So it's AP week, there's finals coming up, we wanted to bring in therapy dogs and just really have a chance for Masters to have a little bit of fun.
Following the assembly, the Mental Health Club organized a variety of stress-reducing activities, including talking circles in the library, to reflect upon the speaker and the importance of acknowledging mental health. Senior Nate Diet spoke about what it means to have open discussions about mental health.
Yeah, it's a very important topic to discuss. I think that a lot of people struggle with it. A lot of people don't know who to find, who to talk to. So I think that, decreasing stigma is very important, and, it'll make the world a better place.
In addition to the talking circles in the library, Upper School Chair of Visual Arts Cheryl Hajar worked with the Mental Health Club to show how art can be used as a way of coping and healing.
It just kind of soothes and brings down your stress level, and because making any kind of visual imagery, especially working with color, which is part of why we're doing finger paint, is a really good way just to see the world through a more rose-colored lens.
Bahamundi said that destigmatizing as well as open conversations is the first step in making change.
My biggest hope for this day is for people to start talking about mental health more open and just ending the cycle of stigma. We have to work together as a community to make sure that there's proper systems in place to talk about mental health and bring awareness.
Lexi Walken and Rowan McWhinney, TBN, the Masters School.
The Mental Health Day was definitely a nice break during the busy week of AP exams. Next, TBN's Sophia Van Beek recaps the boys' baseball season. Take a look.
I've been playing baseball since I was very little, like since T-ball, really. But I stopped playing in 9th grade. In 10th grade I was, but COVID started about 2 weeks into the season before we had any games. So we had a couple practices and then we were pretty much shut down for the rest of the year. The season last year was definitely a bit strange. We had 2 games scheduled, and until a couple days before the games, we weren't sure if they were even going to happen. So we pretty much practiced for an entire season, not knowing we were going to have any games. So it was definitely a weird dynamic, but we made the best out of it. I don't know, I thought the season was great. As a team, we really came together. We were definitely working towards something. There was a lot of camaraderie that was built, and really every practice we went out there, we worked our hardest, and there was so much improvement from the beginning to the end. We came in to our third to last game without a win, and we showed up at their school, and sophomore pitcher Henry threw a gem of a game. I think it was a one-hitter, and yeah, it was an awesome moment for the team to see that work pay off with a real tangible win. Coach Jaggernoth, or we call him Coach J, really stepped up this year to become the head coach. and he did a great job. He stepped up, he led the team, and we also brought along 2 more coaches, 2 people who really, as a job, they are baseball coaches, Coach Almonte and Coach Martinez. Almonte mostly worked with the pitchers, and Martinez worked with the catchers and the hitters to help us get better. For starters, we had a sophomore starting at pitcher. We had a sophomore at second base. Otherwise, it was mostly juniors and seniors starting. There was Alex Napo, Jr. started in center field. Chris Napo or Jagger Gossett switched off at catcher. And otherwise, I think all senior. Oh, actually, our right field was kind of a platoon between a bunch of different people. We had Richard Wagner, who's a freshman, got some time out there. Max Gorin, Tate got time out there as well. Just it was mostly a team approach there. We kind of filled in with whoever was looking the best in the previous week. Yeah, I think that this was a building season. I don't want to say we can only go up from here, but this is a season where we started to build things, and I think in the future there's a lot to be hopeful for, and there's a lot that could be done with this team to make it really competitive and maybe one day win the FAA.
Field Day took place on May 20th with events like Capture the Flag, an egg toss, the classic potato sack race, and a spelling bee. At the end of the day's games, the purple team came out victorious. Ethan Schlapp reports on the day.
On Friday, May 20th, the upper school community participated in Field Day. It was the second ever Field Day held, a tradition that started last year after the COVID-19 pandemic pushed back Founders Day into what became a combined Field Day and Founders Day event. Logistically, advisories are separated into one of 4 different teams: red, blue, white, or purple, before students from the same grade on different teams compete against each other in a variety of events. Freshman Thomas O'Grady spoke about his favorite aspect of Field Day.
I really like how the community comes together and we just have fun, you know? The events. Probably spelling bee. I'm looking forward to the spelling bee today.
The day started off on Graduation Terrace, where middle school and upper school students gathered before the current DAA tribe president spoke and invited next year's DAA co-presidents, as well as Peter Newcomb, head of upper school, and Tasha Elsbach, head of middle school, to briefly speak. The day's events were then kicked off as the 4 upper school grades headed to different locations to begin the various activities, which were the egg toss, the sack race and sponge relay, Capture the Flag, and the human spelling bee. Senior Isaiah Williams spoke about what he enjoys about Field Day.
Oh, my favorite thing about Field Day, classes end early, and I get to have a bunch of fun for half the day on school time.
While the purple team racked up the most points in the events, leading to their eventual victory, everyone got to enjoy Field Day, as each of the 4 grades had an ice cream truck sent to the location they were currently at. Purple team member, senior, and one of the DAA tribe presidents, Kyle Benson, spoke about his favorite event of Field Day.
I think it had to be the Capture the Flag. It was so much fun. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's playing and interacting, and it's always fun having debates and feuds over what happened. So.
While he will miss being a part of Field Day, Benson spoke about his role in passing the torch for the next DAA co-presidents, Noah Castle-Young and Ashley Woodruff.
Last time, kind of setting everybody off, and so I'm glad to be able to pass it down to the next chair. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And that's a wrap on Field Day. Signing off for now, Ethan Schlapp, TBN, the Masters School.
Thanks for that report, Ethan. The Field Day events are always very competitive, so a big congratulations to the purple team. Before the seniors head off for college, TBN's Ellie Yang spoke with a number of seniors to hear what they're going to miss most about Masters.
I think that my favorite club on campus is Panache, because I think that everything that they do is really cool and creative.
BBQ Club.
Model UN.
Outspoken and Positive Rhythm. I love them equally. I don't have a preference.
My favorite club at Masters is definitely Onyx. I am currently one of the co-presidents, so I feel like I've been heavily involved in it for the past 4 years, and it holds a special place in my heart.
My favorite place is my dorm because I don't really like going outside like that, so I love my little place of happiness.
I would say FC.
I would say library.
Chicken katsu.
My favorite food is the fish tacos in the dining hall or when they have the beignets during Mardi Gras.
Chicken katsu.
Beef bulgogi.
Chicken katsu, no question.
Favorite food, I like the eggplant parmesan.
My favorite food is the chicken katsu.
Yeah, true enough.
I would say I really like pactadets.
I think the international dinner because you get to like cook in the Brock kitchen, which is really, really fun, and you get to like make food that you might be like missing as a boarder.
I mean, it's not something I've experienced every year, but I had a lot of fun doing senior spoons. I think that's always been like a fun tradition to see the seniors like running around every year, and then to do it this year was really, really fun. Something I'm gonna miss at Masters is definitely like my free period with my friends, and then also the food at the dining hall I'm gonna miss a lot.
Hanging out on the quad.
The people. Yeah, I think going to a school like this, you're in small classes and you know your friends really, really well. And you know, as much as I'm excited for college, it'll be hard to leave that environment.
My dorm.
The food. One thing I'm gonna miss is just like how close everyone is. Morning meetings and everyone like cheers for each other. It's like a super supportive environment.
Take advantage of all the opportunities. Masters has a lot of great things that you can do, and just make the best of it.
Don't overthink the little things. It doesn't matter that much.
I'd say don't sacrifice your social life for education. Obviously, put education first as much as you need to, but I think don't put it over your friends. Make sure you establish good friendships. Make sure that you go to that party. Make sure that you don't sacrifice things too much. Find the right balance.
I think as you spend more time away from here, you realize just how special this place is.
Finally tonight, taking a look back at this year. With the flooding of facilities, countless COVID concerns, and more, this year has been like no other. TBN's Hannah Skijano brings you a recap of the 2021 to 2022 school year.
Unlike the last few years, the majority of the 2021-22 school year was held in person. The year featured the end of a mask mandate, a NICE soccer championship, and various musical performances. Here are some highlights. As master's students returned to campus at the beginning of September, the FC and Strayer were closed due to flooding from Hurricane Ida. There was over $1 million in damage. All of the dance and media arts classes had to be moved to alternate locations until repairs were completed in early 2022. To celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, Latinos Unidos partnered with the language department to host a Hispanic food truck and mariachi band on September 24th. Grades 5 through 12 came together on October 1st to celebrate Founders Day, which honors the school's founder, Eliza Bailey Masters. Phi came out victorious after beating Delta in the tug-of-war games. On November 7th, the boys' varsity soccer team won the NICE's championship at Manhattanville College. The team beat Hackley 2-1. In January, Jewish Culture Club invited Auschwitz survivor Trudy Album to speak in commemoration of International Holocaust Remembrance Day. And as the musical season rolled around in late February, students performed Lin-Manuel Miranda's award-winning Broadway musical, In the Heights. On February 24th, Russia invaded Ukraine, causing the biggest refugee crisis in Europe since World War II. Russia's ongoing attacks on Ukraine hit close to home for many in the master's community. Ukrainian students and Mish hosted a fundraiser and raised $3,000 in support of Razom for Ukraine, an organization that provides humanitarian war relief and recovery for Ukrainians. And after COVID-related delays, the Masters community honored the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. in March. The day's events included featured speakers, a documentary, and workshops. And on March 3rd, head of school Laura Danforth announced that Masters would end weekly pool testing and become mask optional. However, in mid-April, the mask mandate was reinstated for 2 weeks due to a rise in COVID cases, particularly among the senior class. International Dinner took place in March. Students prepared meals from across the globe, danced, sang, and shared stories with the community. The month of April featured the annual Prism concert and Great Gig, which were canceled the past 2 years due to COVID. And after being closed for repairs after storm damage for 7 months, Share Gym finally reopened in late April. Effect Week raised $600 through thrift shop, pots for planters, and farmers market sales to support rural and migrant ministry. And lastly, the dance company had their end-of-year performance in the Claudia Boucher Theater, featuring the theme of healing. Performances included choreography by Shel Benjamin, 2 guest choreographers, and 2 students, Ellie Yang and Haley Kaur. While this year had many highlights, it has been a particularly sad time in the U.S., with over 200 mass shootings since the start of 2022. On May 14th, a white 18-year-old opened fire at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, killing 10 members of the Black community. 1 week later, another 18-year-old shot and killed 19 students and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. This marked the 27th school shooting since January. While lawmakers debate the politics of gun control, Americans continue to bury their dead. And yet, life goes on. Here at Masters, finals will take place next week for the first time since 2019. Hannah Schijano, TBN, the Masters School.
And that's all we have time for here tonight on Tower Broadcast News. Thank you so much to all of our viewers for tuning in for the whole school year. We next would like to give a few shout-outs before we close this show.
Thank you to the Tower staff for your willingness to help us build a broadcast program this year, as well as to Mr. Becker, Ms. Cowie, and Mr. Ives for all of your support. Additionally, we'd like to thank our executive producer emeritus, Lilith Blaze, and everything you have done behind the scenes to make TBN what it is today. We all wish you the best moving forward. I'm Carol K. Ross.
And I'm Hannah Schijano. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a great night and a fantastic summer.